It's another Friday Night Live. A little bit different scene behind me tonight, and I'll explain that in just a moment. I'm trying to get my stream to refresh so that way I can see all the comments. And if it's too dark, let me know. I have the lights off. I have my studio lighting on in front, but they're very dim. I can turn that up if needed. But I think we're doing okay. All right. Zen Ginger was the first one here tonight and said, please don't forget to hit the like button on your way in. Thanks. Well, thanks, Zen, for posting that. And Matt F says, I want that Pleco. He's talking about the Pleco in the thumbnail, and that's Plecos from this tank behind me. And something interesting about that is right before just now, the water level was a little bit lower, and it was causing some noise from the canister filter was splashing in. So I grabbed a bucket of water just to add 5 gallons right before the live stream to quiet it down because I haven't done water top offs yet. And I saw baby plecos and in the lava rock. So stuff's a mess right now because over here is a new computer. Try and throw some stuff out of the way. Maybe you can see the lava rock pile now over here. I saw 2 baby plecos. And I know that the Brilliant Bristlenose, which is what's in the thumbnail, they laid eggs a few weeks ago, and the male was on the eggs fanning them. As time went on, I checked again. The eggs were gone. I figured they probably hatched out. Hopefully I'll see babies at some point. Haven't seen any Brilliant Bristlenose babies. So tonight, just now, I saw 2 baby plecos over in the lava rock piles. But they're not Brilliant Bristlenose. So the Brilliant Bristlenose, even as babies, still they're that gorgeous black with the bright white spots. There's the one baby. He zooms around here and there. Anyways, I'm just looking to see if I see any other baby plecos. So the baby plecos I think I saw are actually super reds. Now there are super reds in here, and none of them I thought were breeding size yet. They're substantially smaller than the Brilliant Bristlenose, and I used to have a breeding trio of Super Reds, and they were probably 3 times the weight of what's in here right now. But apparently, they're breeding, or the other option, which is less likely, is the Brilliant Bristlenose had some albinos. That would be super awesome because the Brilliant Bristlenose are rare to begin with, and now if there's an albino variant, that would be even killer. But I'm gonna say that they're probably Super Reds, and I'm guessing I haven't seen any clutches of eggs from Super Reds in here. I haven't seen them guarding or not guarding, but fanning any eggs. So it might have been a couple random eggs that got laid and got fertilized. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they're albino brilliants, but we'll see. So yeah, that's what's going on behind me, and that's not all that's going on behind me. The rainbow fish are gone. So last week's live stream was the last week that I had the breeding Parkinsonite rainbows. I still have a bunch of Parkinsonite babies out in the fish room that need to grow. They take forever to get some size on them, but I do have them. Those rainbow fish were my buddy Mike that was on my live stream last weekend. That was his fish that he's let me borrow for the last few months. And really, I think he just wanted me to put some size on because they got big while in this 55. Anyways, he took them back because I wanted to change up the fish behind me during the live stream, and this tank now has Vienna guppies in it. And there's not a whole lot, there's probably about a dozen, and they were super easy to catch. All I did was I took, I don't have it in here, I must have took it back to the fish room. I took a Lee specimen container, and I just basically acted like I was going to feed the guppies with food. They all came up to the top, and I just took the specimen container and took a scoop out. And I just basically transferred them via water instead of netting them, so I don't have to worry about damaging their fins or anything like that. It's just super easy. Just bucket scooped them, put them in, and they're doing good. And it looks like I got the live stream pulled up on my computer, and it does look like you can see them swimming around. But once they start breeding in here, and there's hopefully one day there'll be dozens and dozens of them, I think it will look cool on the background. The other thing is A new computer. I built that this week, and my old computer. You guys know I've been I guess I don't want to say complaining, but wishing that I had a newer computer for months now, and basically for rendering videos makes it a lot quicker. And my old computer was 8 to 10 years old, maybe. I know I built it when I lived in a townhome, and I think I've been in this house for 6 or 7 years now, and so it's probably at least an 8-year old computer. It's just getting outdated, so I built a new one, and I spent the time researching it over the last few months, and I knew I wanted I don't know how well it's shown up, but I wanted a white and black theme, so everything's white and black, and that's what I went with. It's still, if you guys are computer people, it's still my old video card. I need a newer video card so that way it helps with rendering these videos for you guys. And I know I said last weekend I was going to get some videos out for you, but I ended up getting kind of sidetracked with working on getting this thing built and ready. I still got to get the software from my old hard drive, which is right here. It has all my videos on it into the new computer. So all the videos I need to edit are right here, and I'll work on that probably Sunday. I got to work tomorrow at my day job, and then so hopefully Sunday, if I don't have anything family going on, I will work on getting all my videos off of this and into there. So that's what's going on around here. I do have some big news tonight. I was going to make it the title of the live stream, but we'll just talk about now. So last live stream I mentioned that I got a pill loader machine, which is for the root tabs I've been working on, and I'm just grabbing some of the empty cases right now. I don't know if you'll be able to see these, but these are the little gelatin capsules, and I've been working on a formula, and I just dropped one on the carpet. I've been working on a formula, and I bought this little doodad, and it's like 8 different pieces. I'm trying not to like drop a bunch of stuff, but it's like all these pieces. It does 100 of these capsules at a time. It's very there's a lot of stuff going on. It's not super fast, but it allows me to do 100 at a time versus hand loading them one at a time. But I'm a squirrel a little bit with that whole idea. So that was my idea. I could do 100 of them, and we'll go from there. I reached out to my manufacturer of my fertilizer. So the 614 fertilizer, this formula, this bottle, the liquid is done professionally. It's bottled professionally. So it's mixed and bottled. I don't mix these. They come to me just like this. This is my fertilizer, and then I have to label them. So when it gets to you, it's labeled. It's got the dosing pump. I have this professionally done because that just makes sense. It's done 100% accurately, and you guys understand, right? Well, I was talking to my supplier, and it turns out they make root tabs. They already have like industrial machines to make root tabs. So I reached out to them about making my root tabs, if they can do that, and yes, they can. And guess what? It's cheaper than what I can do them for, because they have the, like, think of like medical pill machines. They got these big machines that mix all the ingredients and packs all the pills and does all this stuff. And because they can do volume, it's actually cheaper for me to have them make it than for me to use this little contraption and hand load them and do all that stuff. So I am getting them made. They said that they will put me in their next production run, which is next week. So this coming week. They said middle to end of next week they'll put my production in, and usually it takes 4 business days to get the product from them. They're West Coast. So the good news is the 614 tabs is done. I'm just waiting for them to come, and I figured I would tell you guys on here about the pricing on it. So the root tabs, if you haven't caught on, I'm just calling them 614 tabs. It's going to be 60 tabs per bottle, and they're going to be $20 for 60 tabs. And I was looking online at other root tabs, and so like one that's very popular that everybody knows is the Easy Root tabs. So I was looking at their price. They are 60 tabs. You can get them in a small pack or a big pack, which is 60 tabs. They're 25 bucks for 60, which is a fair price for sure. And I was like, you know what? I want to try to launch this product at the best price I can possibly can do. So it's going to be 20 bucks for a bottle of 60, and then I know for sure members will get it for $15 during launch. So when I actually get the bottles here, I'm getting 2 cases worth to test how they sell to you guys, and I'm going to do $15 for the launch price. So the first 2 cases will be $15. I know for sure that'll be members. So if you're a member, you're guaranteed at least it's going to be at most $15 for you guys. I might open that up just to everybody for the launch. So the launch price will be 15 bucks for 60 tablets, and normal price will be 20 bucks. So I'm excited. So that product's coming sooner than I thought it would be. I was kind of in the process of these little gel capsules. I just spilled a bunch. These little gel capsules come together. They're 2 halves. So I had to separate them all. So I went through and did 100 of them by hand. And then, so now it looks like I don't have to do that, which is kind of cool. And I think what I'm going to use these for is just straight calcium and make calcium pills that I can put in my shrimp and snail tanks. Because what I found is I can pack this full of calcium and just walk by and toss them into the tanks. It'll float. And as long as the tank's warm, I realized that if the tank is not heated, so the ones out in my family room, they're like 68 degrees, these gelatin caps don't want to like melt. They basically kind of melt and dissolve. They don't want to melt very quickly. They're very slow. Eventually they kind of swell up and then they'll float. And eventually they dissolve. But in a warm tank, they'll float around and they'll dissolve slowly and drops calcium into the tank. And I've been using them in the shrimp tanks. I just toss them in. Some of them sink, some of them float. It depends on like how densely I pack them full of the calcium. But what's cool is they kind of float and they distribute calcium all throughout the tank. And I do that every couple weeks. So that's probably what I'll use the rest of this packaging for. But root tabs are coming. That's the squirrel. The ending to the squirrel story is the root tabs are coming. Products came back in stock. Northfin Foods, some Hikari Foods, Shrimp King Foods. I basically bought the wholesaler out of what they had left, which was only a handful of a few different ones. So if anybody's looking for Shrimp King Foods, there's not very many left right now. Also Sarah Foods. I got some Sarah Foods in the Paz. This is a really good food. I want to show you. I haven't had it for a while. This is the sinking shrimp food. They used to call them like shrimp sinking granules. Now they're just called the shrimp food. Hope you guys can see that. I bought a case of these, so these are in stock. If anybody's been looking for these, I have them again. I'm trying to do more shrimp-related foods. That's why I brought on the Shrimp King Foods. But for shrimp, the Sarah is a really good food. And you got the Shrimp King, and then also the Hikari. I like the micro pellets, but they also have the shrimp cuisines are really good too. All right, and everybody, so I'm going to pause, and this does say drink up. This is coffee actually. But let's talk about Ohio Fish Rescue's live stream tonight. Wow, that was a ton of fun. You can tell Josh was having a great time. And which was awesome to see. And Josh is going snorkeling next week. Is it next week? Is he going to Jamaica? But he's going snorkeling. And that was a little bit fun. Melhead Prime says that CPU is trippy. Yeah, if you're not like into computers, the CPU is this. I don't know. Where's my finger? This white box, and the color red. It's actually not working exactly how it's supposed to be. That changes color as it gets hotter. So it's supposed to be... Let me pull it up. It's little gadgets and stuff I like playing with. Let me see where it's at. So it should be actually like yellow right now. It's actually supposed to be green. I don't know why it's red. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. But it's supposed to change colors as it gets hotter. It's green when it's cold, and then it goes yellow, red. Um, it's just something fun that it's kind of fun to play with. But yeah, it's the new editing computer. Hopefully everything works. I still gotta get all those videos off that hard drive, but. Sammy Davis Jr. says, I'm here from the OFAR live stream. Well, welcome, Sammy. Good to have you here. Tiffany White, good to see you. It looks like a flux capacitor. Yeah, that's actually the memory, the RAM sticks. If you're not a computer person, you know that computers have memory. That's what that is. And you can, like with these new computers, you can do different lighting things. So I just have it set up as red and blue, but you can do like rainbows. Like I could do a whole live stream on just the coloring that this thing can do. There's lights in the span. This is actually water cooled. If you don't know that, these two tubes, those are coolant hoses. So there's that white box is actually a heat exchanger water pump. So think of a car with a water pump. It pumps the coolant up to this. This is actually a radiator up here. And then there's fans that blow the air out. So it runs really cool. But the main reason I went with this setup is because it's quiet. You cannot hear this computer run at all. You can't hear hard drives because actually there is no moving parts other than the two fans. It's got solid state memory for hard drive space. Not trying to bore you guys with computer stuff. Sorry. Let's stay fishy. What happens when it hits 88 miles per hour? It probably will start blinking real quickly. But yeah, so Rocco's Fish Room says, enjoying a cup of coffee before dinner. I already had dinner, but I'm enjoying coffee afterwards, which is a bad mistake because I got to work tomorrow morning and this will keep me up all night. But coffee's good. All right. Let me see, and as always, guys, if you have any questions for me, make sure you tag me using the @ symbol. It's @SC Aquatics, and that will highlight on my screen. So if you have any questions, I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. And if I don't know, I will just tell you I don't know, because I don't know that much. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but that's about it. Coffee is lifeblood, brother. Yes, it is. I don't function without coffee in the morning. I go to Dunkin' every morning on my way to work, to the point where they know my voice when I order, because if I get coffee, once in a while I'll get a blueberry muffin, and if I order just a coffee, they'll even say, like, no blueberry muffin. I'm like, nope, just coffee. It's crazy. You think it's like, oh, they see me on camera. No, like, my Dunkin' Donuts is awesome. I have a coworker that also does the same thing. He goes there every day, and they know you. Through a drive-through, their lobby or inside has been closed since COVID, and they never reopened it. They just only do drive-through, and that way they don't have to worry about sterilizing the inside of the building and worry about their workers getting sick. They just make everybody go through the drive-through, and it works out well. Mrs. Melhead said, @SC Aquatics, so when you had these Lottles, was the less fancy one a little special? That pickle, and he gets stuck behind his hides a lot. So, the less fancy one, are you talking about the like wild type one, like with the white on them, the white pigments? Or are you talking about the smaller one? I don't know which one was which, but Lottles are very derpy. They're kind of like fancy goldfish. Like they'll be like cute doing one thing, and then they're doing something. You're like, no, stupid, don't do that, don't do that. Like, and getting stuck behind a hide. So that tank that I had them in was at 20 long, and there's rock pile and big pieces of driftwood that they made like kind of a little cave out of. They would get themselves into some predicaments, but They never required me to get them out of them, but the smaller of the two with less white. The big one is definitely more, at least in my case here, was more active. I mean, they both were active, but the big one was like less scared of, if I came up to the tank and put my fingers above it, he was coming up. The smaller one, uh, just kind of derped around, I guess. I guess it was special, but I think most Lottles are special in their own way. All right. Chevy Fish said, at SE Aquatics, are you going to the Kili Carnival tomorrow or Sunday? Oh, to be honest, Chevy Fish, I knew about the Kili Carnival like a long time ago, and I completely forgot about it. So I definitely will not be going tomorrow because I got to work. It's in South Bend, Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. Let me search. Yes, the Michiana Aquarium Society Kili Carnival 2021. It's the 43rd annual. That's crazy. Saturday and Sunday. Just for you guys, it's in South Bend, Indiana. It's at the Comfort Suites University area. Just so you guys know, tomorrow registration's 8 to 10. Box sales and all species swap meet is 10 to noon. That's what I would want to go to. It's probably the box sales and the speakers for sure. Judging a show, if I'm 100% honest with you, the judging part of any show, not just killifish, but if it was cichlids, if it was guppies, judging, I have zero interest in judging uh, events, whether it's shrimp. When I was at Aquashola, they did the shrimp contest. Zero interest because what I find is that a lot of the stuff that I personally like is not, I guess, show quality, if that's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of stuff that I think is beautiful as far as fish go that might not be the standard for some of these high end shows. I find it kind of boring. Like I can appreciate. Don't get me wrong. I can appreciate these show winners. They're stunning, but it just doesn't interest me. I rather go and walk. I went to the Kili. Oh, what was it called? The American Kili Association, the AKA, I think is what it's called. When it was here in Columbus, like a couple years ago, Lucas Bretz uh, came here, and that was the first time I met Lucas Bretz in person. He did a live stream in his hotel, and that's like when I walked up on him. That's the first time I met Lucas Bretz, and we did the American Killifish Association. I think it's AKA. I might be wrong on that, but I enjoyed just looking through. Like it was all the show fish. They're all in their little boxes. Lucas and I just walked through and looked at all the fish, but I didn't have to stay in to see which one actually won. That didn't interest me. I guess it's kind of like a dog show. Like, I think all dogs are great. Like, I could care less which one has the best haircut. Um, but I do appreciate these line bred fish. They're going for these certain traits, but I just want to see the fish. Anyways, squirrel. The speakers are at 2:30 to 5. I would love to be there for that. Like I said, judging the shows at 5:15. Could care less. Sunday awards and auction is at 11 a.m. until question mark. It goes as far as it takes to auction off the fish. I would want to be there for that. So it kind of sucks. I want to be there for the box sales, but also in the speaking. But here, so I'm squirreling in my head as I'm squirreling to you guys. As I'm like, I'd rather be there for the auction to buy fish, but I'm like, nope, I don't want more killifish. I don't need more fish right now. I need to work on the tanks I have. Oh, but no, to be honest, I probably will not be there. Mrs. Millhead said the smaller one seems to get stuck a lot, but he loves to be held. The bigger one with a white pigment swims a lot, but doesn't like to be held. They're both weird. They have their personalities. They really do. You know, I guess they're kind of like dogs. You know, different dogs like being held, and some don't. Charlotte loves to sit in my lap. If I'm like sitting on the couch, she'll sit like on my leg and then lean back like this into like my shoulder, and she'll watch TV. She can't hear what's on TV, but she'll watch TV with me. Havana does not um, like get on my lap like that. She'll definitely get next to me and try to lean on me, but yeah. Okay, let's see where we're at. Okay, I think I'm caught up. All right, so cool. Um, yeah, so Vienna guppies behind me, a couple baby pluckos. Maybe let's see if I can get them on video for you guys. And I don't have the streaming software for this computer, so we will be doing my mobile streaming. My microphone's not hooked up. I'm gonna see if I can see where they were. Sorry, I'm flipping around. Might as well show you what I see. So of course there's some deposits on the side of this tank, but they were back here in this corner. They were like right there. I don't know if that's a snail or if that's a pleco down there, but they were tiny. But there was definitely two of them. With these baby plecos, you kind of just have to sit for a second and see if they end up moving. I'm not seeing them. There's definitely some Malaysian trumpet snails. Alright. You guys see anything? You probably can't see anything on here. They're in there, I swear. But I'm pretty sure they're probably super reds. I did check the caves. As soon as I saw the babies, see if there was like eggs anywhere. I didn't see any eggs. This is what I enjoy, because now I just want to stare at the tank, which I'm putting it back in the holder. It's been a while since I just sit there and stare at a tank, and it's fun. It really is. So we'll see what the pluckos turn out to be. Fingers crossed they're albinos, but we'll see. I just got a message about super chat. Let's see what that is. Matt F with the 614 super chat, and didn't say a word, just dropping some love. Matt, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for the super chat. Whew, this coffee's making me warm. I actually turned the heat on today because we got another cold snap here in Ohio. It's been rough with shipping. Luckily, has been a-okay. Haven't had any issues with shipping fish for the last few weeks. But it seems like every time I have like a decent amount of orders, which decent amount of orders might be 5 boxes of fish on Monday and maybe like 1 on Tuesday or Wednesday. Like I don't ship a whole lot of fish, but it seems like when I do have like 5 boxes going out, there ends up being a cold snap. And the one a couple weeks ago had me nervous because it was like 30s one night, and then a day or two later it was like almost 80. And so with 30s, definitely have to have heat. Got to have heat in those boxes, but what I'm afraid of is you put a couple of heat packs in there to mitigate that 30 degrees. What happens once that box hits that 80 degrees of weather, you know? So luckily, no issues. Okay, Papa Shrimp, good to see you. And the other thing I get up is Photoshop. So I just realized that I don't have Photoshop anymore. They went to this like online subscriber-based thing where you got to pay a monthly fee, which kind of sucks because I used to just have the program, and once you bought the program, you had it forever. Now they make you pay monthly for the program, and I need that to make the labels for the root tabs. So what's going to happen is I'm going to get these root tabs here, and I'm going to have to sell them with how to label it first, because I got to design the label and then get it printed. But yeah. All right. I think we are caught up, so this would be a good time to get any questions in. If you have anything, at this point, we'll open it up. Ask me fish questions, computer questions, car questions, dog questions. Let's squirrel all over the place tonight. Papa Shrimp said, I haven't set up ponds outside yet, even down in Texas. Got a little chilly last week. Yeah, so my pond is, it's up, but it's not running. So the waterfall is not on yet this year, but there's water in the pond. It is green water, which is great. And today, I've been dumping my dehumidifier water into the pond. So that water's been, I did that. Did I release that video about the ammonia? I think I did. Anyways, I did a video. Maybe I didn't release that. My dehumidifier water is full of ammonia. And IHSB at Steve, I'm so mad at you about the member code. I'll talk about that here in a second. But the dehumidifier water is full of ammonia. I dump that into the pond to help feed that green water. Green water is great for growing fry. Anyways, the pond has green water. It's got leaves in it and those little helicopter seeds. It's got a lot of junk in it, which is great. The waterfall's not up and running yet because I've just been letting the green water do its thing. But I noticed today and yesterday there's a lot of insect larvae, which is probably mosquito larvae, in the water. So it's getting prime, full of food. And with all those like seeds and leaves breaking down, there's going to be a lot of microorganisms, infusoria, hopefully Daphnia. So once I put some fish out there this year, they're going to be like hometown buffet out there. They're going to be going to town. Matt F says, this month's code is ... Oh wait, become a member to find out and save 15% at 614fish.com. So what he's talking about is memberships here are $5 a month. It's $4.99. It's a way to support the channel, help me do fishy things, help me do stuff with the Ohio Fish Rescue. A lot of you guys are from Ohio Fish Rescue. You know that I drive up there and help them with their tank stands and all that stuff. Well, that $4.99 helps me do stuff like that. A way for me to show my appreciation is there's always a discount code on the website. If you use the discount code YouTube at checkout, it saves you 10%. That's just saying, thanks for watching me on YouTube. Here's 10%. Save some money. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, for me to show even more support towards my members, because you guys are supporting me, they get an extra 5%. So they get 15%. You might think that's not a lot, but there's some people on here that order a lot of stuff from me, which I truly appreciate. And that extra 5% usually will make up for the $4.99 members fee. So if you plan on ordering fish food or supplies, stuff like that through the website, become a member and it'll pay for itself. And we're just going for that member count because maybe that will help boost YouTube algorithms. I don't know. Everybody's trying to push members, so I'm just trying to jump on the bandwagon and do it myself. But I just try to give back for your $4.99 with extra 5% to kind of make up for it. Metalhead Prime says, where's the join button? Metalhead Prime, you're already a member. That's why your name's green. You're green when you're a member. Mrs. Metalhead, you're also a member. That's why your name's green. Matt F's a member, but he's showing blue because he's a moderator. All the moderators, their names are blue no matter what, even if they're a member. Same thing with IHSP. Oh, so IHSP... So the way the discount code works is I put a discount code on the members only section of YouTube. So if you're a member, there's a special section just for you guys where I can talk to you. And that's where I post pictures or videos, live streams, stuff like that. Well, each month I put a new discount code for the members to use on the website. And what that does is, let's say somebody becomes a member in January and then they cancel, which, whatever, like, I understand, like, you did it for a month, you're saving your money, your $4.99 for something else. Well, that discount code is for members, so you can use it for that month that you're a member, but once you're done being a member, there's no way for me to, like, have it stop doing it for a specific person, and that would be, like, crazy logistics of that working. So all I do is I change the discount code. It automatically ends the last day of the month at midnight. And then the next month I create a new one. It works for the month. Well, this month I forgot to do it until a few days after the start of the month. IHSP said, "Hey, what's the discount code for this month?" Reminding me. I was like, "Crap, I totally forgot." So I came up with a good discount code, and that's what she's haggling me about. All right. Mike said, "Steven, with you getting all the root tabs made, 3D print a root tab tool." I could make an injector tool. The only thing is, I can only make the tool, like the 3D printer only prints something about this long. So, I mean, I guess it would work for, like, as long as you still put your arm down in the tank, you can use it to inject it into the substrate. But I have to see. I guess first of all, I have to see what size the tabs are. And the tabs. So the missing part out of my formula. So that formula sheet that I always show you guys of how I'm changing things. There is two things that, after talking to the manufacturer, that I kind of always thought was a filler for root tabs, but it turns out it's actually needed. Is the iron-rich clay. So there's clay added, um, and then mineralized topsoil. I always thought the topsoil was a filler. I was like, why add topsoil? Well, I guess it's actually the compounds, the way everything works together. You need it basically, um, and it was enjoyable talking to them because they talked about with this formula. Once everything's pieced together, um, they say some root tabs they mention like don't contain phosphorus, so you don't have to worry about your phosphorus shooting up. Well, this company has been doing fertilizers for as long as I can remember, and they make fertilizers for other companies that are very popular. Um, if you guys know who I'm talking about. Probably the same with these root tabs. I wouldn't be surprised if these root tabs are probably someone like you're already buying. This is a different formula, but it's probably the same company. Anyways, they say when the company says like, "Oh, it doesn't have this because it does," that would do this. They said no, you want phosphorus for your plants. They don't put it in there, so they're wording it to make it sound like it's good that it's not in there. Like, no, you want that in there for your plants. And they say a lot of times is when there's something missing, and then they try to flip it through advertising that, oh yeah, we don't have that because it's better not to have that. There's a couple things that like some fertilizer root tabs don't have. Maybe phosphorus to keep water from clouding. If you overdose, you can get a bacterial bloom or an algae bloom. I'm sorry. Um, but these tabs are supposed to be pretty legit. I'm excited, super excited. So if you guys have heavy root feeding plants, give these things a try. They should be uh, exceptionally good. And the spacing on them, so like there's grids. Like a lot of people say 4-inch grids. These are 5 to 6 inch grids, and what that means is you can target feed and put them just around swords. But with especially swords, I learned from these roots go pretty far away from the plant. You'd be really surprised at how big these root systems can get on these Amazons. So that's why they recommend doing the grid pattern. So you put one basically kind of at the base of the plant, and then you work 5 inches out as a grid throughout your tank. And then they tell you to replace it every 4 to 6 months. They say like 4 to 5 months. In my tank, I do it once a month. That's just me. I do it once a month because I know I'm pumping as much nutrients into that tank as I can, and then obviously watch nitrate levels. If you see, it's kind of common sense. If you see like, oh, like I just added a bunch of more root tabs or even fertilizer, whether it's liquid or if you're dry dosing, if you get an algae bloom, you're might want to slow down a little bit, or even do like a little partial water change just to help everything balance out. But typically, when a tank is really established, you can start hitting it heavy with fertilizer. Okay, I feel like I'm squirreling again. I've always called them that, and have my kids calling them that. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Metalhead. Helicopter seeds. Okay, I see it. Helicopter seeds. That's what we call them here in Ohio. We call them helicopter seeds. I couldn't tell you what tree they're from. We've always called them helicopter seeds. If you're not from around here, it's a seed that has like a little wing on it. I'm sure I could go out back and grab one and show you guys. But they come two seeds together when they're intact, and they spin like a helicopter as they fall off the tree. Sometimes they break, and you have one seed with like one little wing, and it kind of like nosedives and spins. But we call them helicopter seeds. But what I'm laughing about is Melhit Prime says, "At Matt, how do I become a member? Where's the join button?" Maybe that's an inside joke and it went over my head, but you're already a member. I'm guessing that's probably a joke. Um, Matt F said, "How long SC Aquatics?" If you're talking about the root tabs, they go in manufacturing next week. So I'm hoping the week after I'll have them here in my hands. Rocco's Fish Room says, "It's time to eat. Many blessings to everyone. You guys are amazing, and don't ever forget it." Well, Rocco, I hope you have a great dinner. I guess it could be a breakfast wherever you're at, but I'll go with dinner. Wait, I think we talked about you were waiting for dinner, so. Alright. Mrs. Melhead says, "I need more of those ONUT tabs. The next time you guys place an order, I'll send you a box." I don't sell them on the website, so I just basically give them out to members, and I throw them in random orders here and there. So next time you guys need some fish food, hit me up, and I will send you some. And that's what I was feeding the axolotls too. So we were talking at Ohio Fish Rescue, Mrs. Metalhead. I was going to say the Metalheads, but really it was me and Mrs. Metalhead about what I was feeding the axolotls. So I originally started off feeding axolotls ONIP tabs. They ate them very readily. Basically, you just take your fingers in the top of the water, get their attention. They're special. And sometimes you could drop it right in front of their face, and they would go like jumping over here to eat it. They're like, "No, it's right here. Why are you going there?" But they would eat those. Frozen bloodworms, I would just float the cube, and they would basically thaw and then fall, and they would eat them. And then towards the end of me keeping them, I was actually feeding them rosy reds. Just try and bulk them up, and because I know they're going to a new house, so in case they stressed out and didn't want to eat for a while, I said, let's bulk these guys up. And so they were eating rosy reds, live ones. As I would get local fish from the wholesaler, they also had rosy reds. I would give them rosy reds. Maybe not super nutritional because rosy reds are feeder fish. The consensus is that feeder fish are usually lesser of a nutritional value because they're very thin. They're not like super healthy like long term fish, but they were going to town on them. I would buy 2 dozen at a time, and I would just put them in the tank with them, and that way there would always be a meal available. Well, those little axolotls would eat the 2 dozen in like 24 to 36 hours. 2 dozen rosy reds would be gone. So yeah. IHSP says, "I never got my tabs." Oh, was I supposed to send you some? I see squirrel. I forget. I need to stop being squeamish. Start getting more plants. Plants are awesome. Matt said he was. He told me he was sending me some more. I never got. Guys, all right. When you place an order, you guys put there should be a comment section. put comment ONIP tabs question mark, and if I got some, I'll send them. I have some, but if I happen to run out, I run out. But I forget, guys. I'm terrible. My memory's terrible. IHSP, my memory's terrible. You've emailed me before as a reminder. I'll put stuff in my calendar on my phone. It'll hit, and I'll dismiss the notification, and then I'll forget about it. I'm like, all right, I gotta do this, dismiss, and then I'll forget. I need a personal assistant to constantly remind me of what I'm supposed to be doing. That's because you're 20 minutes behind. I know. I'm trying to catch up again. Multi-Tank Addiction, good to see you. It said at SC, hope you're having a great night. It's a good night tonight. OFR's live stream was a lot of fun, and we are over here. Hopefully having a little bit of fun. Alright, I think I'm almost at the bottom. I think I'm catching up, Matt. Catching up. Chevy Fish a squirrel. It's Squirrel Aquatics. Matt's probably got the little image on his computer somewhere. Alright. Website. Nothing really new on the website. I think I mentioned about the new available fish. I think I mentioned that last live stream. Let me make sure I have them posted to the website. Hopefully I didn't squirrel and forget to post them. So I have some fish that are locally bred, but they're not in my tanks. So these fish I'm basically a middleman, I guess if that's the correct words. So these fish are being bred here in Columbus, and they need to be sold, but the person that sells them does not have a website or e-commerce, something like that. So I'm basically selling them for this person, and there's 4 different fish. I'm just trying to go through the website and see if they're on here. I don't have images of them yet, so I need to get pictures, because everybody wants pictures, but oh, maybe they're not on here. Oh, here's something else. Mystery snails. Mystery snails are available, and I have them set up as a single. If you want a mystery snail, they're $2.50, and if you want a pack of them, it's $20 for 10 of them. So just under $2 a piece, and it's kind of expensive, but if you buy them, you can breed them. If you want to breed mystery snails, you gotta lower your water level down in your tank, because they will put their eggs in this I call it the egg sack. It's a clump of eggs above the water line. So they want to keep them out of the water, but they want to keep them close to water so they stay hydrated or moist. You can pull the eggs once they lay them, and I've seen people, they'll take a Tupperware container and they'll float it on the tanked water, so that way it's heating it, and then they'll put a damp paper towel in there to keep the moisture level up. That's one way you can do it too. But mystery snails are available on the website, and I clearly say you will receive a mystery snail. So what that means is I'm not selling a specific color. It could be a pearl white one, it could be a yellow one, it could be a blue one, which blue is a tint. It's not dark blue like you would think of a shrimp. A black one, it's going to be a mystery. That's the fun part about them, is you never know what you're going to get, but they're listed. And I had someone, the reason why I have them now is somebody a week ago was looking for, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, was looking for snails for their puffer fish. So that's why I have the mystery snails. Back on topic about the fish, the bucktooth tetra. It's the most expensive fish I have on the website. They are not cheap, and there's a reason why they are not cheap. Bucktooth tetras, which is the Exodon, they typically, in general, don't do very good in small groups. When people buy 3 of them, they don't do good. They end up fighting with each other. It's been recommended to me to try to tell people to get at least, they said 8 of them. If you get at least 8, the aggression's kind of over with, right? It's kind of like cichlids. Like you got two, they might spar. You get a bunch. It's just like the OFR big Bellagio tank. Those fish are peaceful because there's so many they don't know what to do. So I don't want to sell fish that I know I'm setting somebody up for failure with. So with the Exodons, I know if I sell somebody 3 of them, they're just going to die. And 6 of them, they might be okay. Maybe it's the random, they do fine, maybe they don't. And so the way I sell fish is it's a single fish if it's like a pleco, something where you might just want one. But most fish are sold in groups of 3, 6, 9, and 12. And then I got some, I think the neons or the cardinals might go up to 24 per group. And the more you buy, the cheaper it gets. I just decided the best thing for this fish is to not offer it in 3 and 6. So you can only buy it in a group of 9 or 12. And because they are expensive and you have to buy 9 of them, they're $85. Not a piece, $85 for 9 of them. And then 12 is $106. This is before discounts, but it's one of those things where I know somebody, I think it was Evan Cardwell, was on here on a live stream, was asking if I can get them, and so I can, but they're expensive. So okay. Anyways, squirrel, green Severums. These are the ones that are locally bred. It's not something I really want to keep here in my house, so I was totally cool with selling them for this local breeder. They're not super cheap. They're $12.95 a piece, and I'm just under all fish. So if you go to 614fish.com, you go to freshwater fish, just click all fish. It's on page. I don't even know what page I'm on. 3, page 3 maybe. Page 4, maybe. Page 4. And I'm missing a fish because I know there's one other one that was locally bred that's not on here, which is angelfish. So I will have to get that on the website with pictures, of course. Medications are still hit or miss. Squirrel. I got to email my wholesaler. I ordered Paracleanse and I think Expel P in the 20 counts. I got charged for it, and they never sent me the medications. I got my fish foods and all the other stuff, but I'm missing a lot of money in medications that I double-checked the invoice. They billed me X amount of money. I checked my credit card statement. I got billed it for sure. I checked the shipping invoice. It says they shipped it, didn't get the medications. It was not in the box. Everything else was in the box, not medication, so I gotta reach out to them and be like, yo, don't make me send Big Rich over here and get my money back. I don't even want my money back. I just want a credit because I order through them all the time. But I'm missing a lot of money in medications right now. And what sucks is that Paracleanse has just been impossible for me to get. I order it every single time. This time it was in stock, and it said it was in stock. It said that they shipped it to me, but they did not. So I'm waiting on Paracleanse. I know you guys are too, so I apologize for that. But I should have another box. I don't know if it's tomorrow or Monday. It should be here anytime. Of Wonder Shells in the large size and nano heaters. I gotta update the picture. So they changed the design, which I'm super happy for. The Aquatop nano heaters, they're 25 watts, so they're really good for these like little small cube tanks. There was a design flaw, and I'm pretty sure I had it on the website. Design flaw that I found. Let me go to heaters. Not that. Oh, it's not here, but the item's been taken down. If the heater went dry, which any heater, this is bad. I had 2 of these heaters blow up, where it like shot the wiring out of it if they run dry. Now, like a glass heater runs dry, it could crack on you, which is not good, but this thing literally blew up. which is not good. And they changed the design on it. Super awesome to correct that issue, um, which is sweet. So I, I'm sure I'm just one of 1,000 people in the world that had these issues, which that's my fault. It's not fault of the product. Like, it's not supposed to be out of water running hot. And what happened was, in this tank, when I had a beta in it, the water level evaporated and I wasn't thinking about it, and it got just low enough where the top of the heater was out of the water, and that was the kiss of death for that heater. But they changed the design now. I want to say it's even got a safety feature to prevent that from happening now. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, just make sure your water is always above your heater. And I just saw Matt said that's why I don't use glass heaters anymore. Um, I'm dangerous. I put a hammer through 2 tanks in one night. Well, that's not good. Glass heaters, I don't have a problem. Honestly, all my heaters are glass. When he's talking about is probably using titanium heaters. Titanium heaters are very nice. That's like the premium heater. Excuse me. It's a premium heater. It uses titanium instead of glass to avoid shattering. But typically, you can avoid shattering if you keep it submerged and you don't hit the thing. So you think like I'll never hit it. It's when you go to do the random like rescape and a piece of driftwood like happens like tilt and then it topples and it smacks it. I've never had a fish break a glass heater. I bet Brutus could, but none of these nano fish could break a heater. But yeah, I'm monster fish. And as I'm thinking of monster fish, I see Metalhead Prime says I'm slowly evolving to titanium heaters, mainly because my fish like to break glass. And Metalhead's got some monster fish. So I can totally see that. But for me, nano fish glass has been a-okay. And honestly, if you're looking for titanium heaters, Metalhead, let me know. I can get you titaniums. It's just I never thought to bring them on because they're expensive. So I was like, I always try to keep things economical for everybody. So if I knew that people want titanium heaters, then I would totally carry them. But I just figured like heaters in general, I feel like are so expensive these days that I try to keep things on the low. Texas Fisherman says my Oscars hate heaters. Um, Texas Fisherman, do you use titanium heaters or do you heat your building? Mrs. Mulhead said, Essie, did you see the video of the arowana at OFAR that was swinging around with a heater in its mouth? It tripped us out just chilling in the pool room. What? You're talking about the arowana in the 58,000? How to get a heater? There shouldn't be a heater. Oh! You're talking about when they lost the main heater and they put the heaters in? I did not see that video. Shoot me a link to it. Well, I guess I could look it up. I'm sure it's on there. Is it on behind the scenes or is it on the main page? Or is it even on YouTube? I didn't see the video. Let me know where it's at. I'll look at it. Texas Fisherman says titanium now. They broke a few glass ones. Okay, well that's something I didn't really think about. Like I didn't think about Oscars. I seen like arowanas and like big fish like that. I could totally see them running into tanks running into glass heaters and doing that. I didn't think of something like Oscars, but I'll have to keep that in mind so that way if anybody asks about that, I can recommend them a titanium heater. Uh, Metalhead said that was a thermometer. Well, hey, an arowana swimming around with a thermometer is still kind of funny as long as it doesn't like choke on it. Mickey, good to see you. He says Oscars are brutal fish. I don't know. They seem so docile at OFR. That's probably because they're with other monster fish. It was a thermometer, but he was cruising around the pool with it in his mouth. I'll find the video and send it to you. All right. My Oscars destroyed 2 in a row. Well, while I'm thinking about it, I'll log in to my wholesaler in Mr. Mellowhead and see if I can get you at least a good deal on the next time you need to buy a heater. I'm not saying, buy a heater right now. I'm just, in case you ever need a new heater, I want to see if my main wholesaler has anything that's good. What's a good brand for titanium heaters that you guys like? I know Phoenix has titanium heaters. They seem expensive to me, but granted, I don't run them, so I don't know if it's expensive or not. That's something I never really looked into, but I know Phoenix has titanium heaters. I'm sure I think Eheim has titanium heaters. I know there's multiples. In your opinion, what's a good one? I like to hear what you guys use. So Texas Fish Room, if you want to tell me what you use, Metalhead, anybody else that use titanium heaters, I'd like to see what you guys use and what you recommend, and tell me what you like and what you don't like. If there's anything you don't like, let me know, because I like feedback. Why I'm looking this up. Heaters. Melhead Prime says, I like H2 Pro. Matt says, Vivo Sun is garbage. Brian Crossman said, I have had Piranha break several heaters. Okay. Matt said the Oscar and the 4400 Alpha are huge. Love it. Yeah, they are big. That's when I always knew Oscars got big, but I didn't realize how big an Oscar. I didn't Let's be honest. A lot of the fish I knew got big. I didn't realize how big until I saw it in person. Oscars was definitely one of the fish, and then I believe, I might be wrong, black belt cichlid, I think it's what it was. That's in the 4400. That was actually my favorite fish. I didn't see it in there last time I was there, so it could have been hiding. Maybe it passed away. I don't know. But that was my favorite fish in that tank. I'm pretty sure it was called black belt cichlid. That dude was big, and he was awesome. That was, if I was going to have a dream cichlid, that was probably the dude. Von User said, tell me about the Fluval 3.0 lights. So there's one on this tank right now. It's actually off. So what you're seeing right now, I can't show you because I'm live streaming from my phone. So the Fluval 3.0s, I can grab the box. The box is right here. So this light, the reason why there's a Fluval in this tank was this is the light that I always griped about, where I felt like I got scammed out of a power supply on eBay. And this light has been sitting in this box for like 2 years because I can't get a power supply. I decided on my own to figure out the specs of the light and what the voltage and amperage and the size of the pin and the connector, and I basically found a aftermarket replacement. Been testing on this tank and it works. Mike was here and said, that's awesome that you were able to cobble that together, that information, and find a product. He's like, you should sell it as a replacement, just not like a factory replacement, but like, hey, everybody that has a Fluval 3.0 and your power supply is bad, whether it's like me, where I got scammed out of one, if you somehow got one wet, you ran over a vacuum cleaner, whatever, maybe I can sell them. Which, I'm cool with that, but I need to test it, make sure it's a good product. So it's been on there for a while now. So Fluval 3.0s, my favorite light, and I'll tell you why. And Von Yunzer, let me explain to the general chat. He emailed me about a tank he's setting up and about lighting recommendations. And the salesman in me, expensive light, and well, actually, here's the kicker, Von Yunzer, because you were talking about how like I was not trying to hard sell you on anything. I was giving you my honest opinion. I would go with a 3.0 light on any tank, big or small. I even have a 3.0 on this little 4-gallon cube. It's the Nano 3.0. And the reason why I would always want a 3.0 is because of the adjustability. If you're trying to carpet a tank, you need that highlight. You can dial this thing up. This thing is highlight. Now, if you're just trying to grow some crypts, you can dial the light down, so it's not as powerful. So that's the cool thing is you can grow your system can grow with you as your plants grow. Let's say your tank starts filling in. Like when I first started putting plants in here, it didn't need a ton of light. There was only a couple plants. Well, now it's starting to get a little bit thicker, a little bit thicker. I can ramp the light up. Sorry, one of my cameras is motion detecting crap. So I like that you can add basically power. The other thing, you can control it with your phone. So I would be able to show you right now, but the light's off. That's just a Stingray right now. It's a lot brighter on YouTube than right now. So it's darker in this room than it seems right now. It's really bright on YouTube. But the tank is not as bright as it seems right now. Like this is all washed out. This is actually tinted glass. So it looks super bright. It's actually very like subtle in person. Like I don't know. The camera's just making everything brighter. The Fluval light is on, and it's on off, and it's not smart controlled, so it's just got a switch. I made it semi-smart by using a Wi-Fi switch on that, so it's on a timer, so it kicks on and off at the same time. So you can do the same thing with this, kick on and off at the same time, but what I really love about this is the sunrise and sunset feature. And so if you don't know, what it does is, let's say the light turns on at 8 a.m., it comes on, but it's really dim. And you can set like high noon or whatever time, it's completely customizable. You can set noon to be the brightest time of the day. So from 8 a.m. till noon, it works up the intensity of the light till you hit noon. And you say, I want high intensity from noon until 3 p.m. So it runs full power, or if you want at 50%, you can change all this stuff. At 3 p.m., you can have it start doing sunset. So it'll say like it'll go to like 5 p.m. It starts going down. It starts getting dimmer, dimmer, dimmer. And then you can, like I said, it's 100% customizable for how long you want the bright times, the dim times. If you want lights like the blue lights at night for like night mode, which I don't run. Well, I take that back. I'm looking over at this cube tank, and it's on night mode right now. It runs the blue lights for 1 hour. So once the main lights go out, the blue lights stay on for 1 hour, and then they go off. From what I've heard through YouTube, I don't really know. I'm sure it's a thing. Blue lights promote algae growth. So if you're trying to run algae-free tanks for aesthetics, you don't want the blue light. Well, I run the blue light for an hour, hopefully getting some algae. I could run it all night because there's shrimp and snails in those tanks, and they love algae. So I'm using it to hopefully grow some algae while the lights are off. They say that the plants can't uptake the blue light, but algae can. So that's what I heard through other YouTubers, and I'm sure it's true, but I'm just repeating what I heard. But you can control that. The Phoenix, the reason I recommend the Phoenix, I recommend it if you're not planted, because it's a good light, gives off a good spectrum, and even if you are planted. But if you're not planted, don't get a 3.0. There's no reason to have it. It's great for plants. You can run it, I guess, without plants if you want the like sunrise sunset look. I'm not here to see that. The light comes on. I just do it purely for the plants and the fish. I'm at work 8 to 5 every day, so I don't see the sunrise in my tanks. I do see the sunsets when I'm here, but I think it's better for the fish, and so they're not going from like dark to full light. I think it's, in my mind, I think it's better for them. But for plants all day long, 3.0s are so sweet. But I feel bad saying that because it sounds like I'm pushing this product, and it's expensive. These lights are expensive. They're worth it in my mind, in my opinion. These are totally worth the money for sure. And as I started mentioning that, like, those lights are cheaper. To be honest, 100%, I probably make the same amount of money if I sell you a 4-foot Stingray or a 4-foot Fluval. This one's probably like $100 more, but the markup's not like crazy on the Fluval products. I probably make the same amount of money whether I sell you that one or this one. So were you thinking like, oh, he's trying to sell me the more expensive one? To be honest, I would sell these all day long if I make the same amount of money, because you're more likely going to buy the cheaper one. But 100% honest, my opinion, this is the light you want because it's fun. And I know you run Plan Tank, so I would still, especially on that big tank you're talking about, I would get a Fluval light. And I even have a Fluval Aqua Sky out in the fish room because it's still Bluetooth controlled. I still control it with the same app. It's not as powerful. It's nearly not as powerful as this. But I like that sunset sunrise feature. So I have one out in the import rack. We'll go look at it. I haven't read any of your guys' comments, so I'm sure you guys are yelling at me about talking about this Fluval light right now. Oh my gosh. I just got an order on the website. Thank you for whoever just placed an order. Thank you so much. So Fluval's on that tank we just looked at. It's on that cube, which is a nano. And I had one on the Axolotl tank until my little mount broke and the whole light went into the tank. And I came home and I'm like, why does that tank look weird? And it's weird being out here in the fish room. You don't hear that hissing noise because that pump kind of got that fixed. And there's something squirreled. There's something else I want to show you guys out here. I hope you guys you're ready to see my bush. But anyways, there's a Fluval 3.0 right here. And that's, I'm flip you around. That's how I get this growth on this pearlweed and the duckweed and some pearlweed and some duckweed. But anyways, over here, it's actually on, it's going down right now. This is the Aqua Sky. It's on night mode. Remember I was telling you I run night mode for like 1 hour? It's on night mode, so it's doing blue light. Look at these guppies, they're going nuts. It runs that for 1 hour. But I wanted to test it, and I like it. It's just definitely not as powerful as a 3.0, but it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be a plant light. It's they call it, I think, the Fluval Sky. It's a good tank light. It's not as powerful, and the shading's a little bit different. It's a little bit more cooler than that warm light. 3.0 is still my favorite. And then I would say the Aqua Sky is probably my second. But let's look at my bush, guys. You guys know I sell a lot of the Christmas moss on the website, a ton, because it grows like a weed, literally like a weed in my fish room. And I want to show you. Start off as a clump, so like a golf ball sized clump. Whenever I set up this fish room, I don't even know if you guys can see this how I see it. Look at this. This is a 55-gallon tank, by the way, so this is 4 feet long. This thing is nuts. Oh, reflection. It's nuts. There's some blue. This tank has blue shrimp in it. See some down there. There's some on the. Can we see it? You can see a dark one there, and there's a guy. You know, there's some over there. But guys, I want to stick my hand in there. So when seeing this, I would almost think the center of this thing has to be dead, because this thing is pressed against the glass. It's growing almost to the top of this 55, and it's technically it's touching at this end. It's not touching on that end. I just want to stick my hand in there and see what's in the middle, but guys, bush and nuts escalated quickly. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm proud. I'm proud of that bush, and I haven't even aquascaped it. No escaping that one. Oh, you guys, the OFR live stream is. Oh, I'm not even going to say that. I was just about to make something worse. Flip you around. That Christmas moss, the big bush out there, this is the same stuff. Yes, there's algae on the glass. I know, whatever's. Algae's good. This is what it looks like under highlight. It's very, still being kind of bushy, but it's way more compact. Anyways, Matt F says, stick your hand in what now? I'm giving up on that topic, guys. Moving on. I know I'm at the end of my hour. I just want to get in the chat real quick, make sure I didn't miss. Mr. Mellhead said, show us your bush. Done with you guys. I'm done. Oh, now the light's on in here. You can see that there's probably a lot of difference in here. But, squirrel. Yep, squirrel. At SE Aquatics, full lights are actually cheaper than some of the other brands. You have the Bear Controller on. I don't feel bad for that. So I have a what's the brand? Prism, which is like a off-road light bar from a truck, basically. It's that bright. It's made for highlighted, planted tanks that are like 4 feet deep. So like a 55 up on end is what this light's for. It's not white. It's like a box. Think of kind of like a saltwater light, but it's made for freshwater. It's stupid bright. That's what I'm going to use on the 200-gallon cube tank because it's 4 feet deep. So that's the light I'm going to use and see how it goes. But Fluval is still my recommendation. Mrs. Metalhead Prime says the Fluval lights are seriously the way to go. It's so much easier to maintain your tanks / fish with them. Yeah, and the other thing with them is, let's say you have an algae outbreak or you got something you need to do a tank blackout, you can just open your phone and off. Easy peasy. Or if you're starting to grow algae, you want to dial the power back. A lot of times, like with this Fluval, let's say I was trying to keep the algae down, I would have to shorten the light on time. So instead of running this light for 8 hours, they have to run it for 6. Well, the Fluval, as soon as you start seeing like too much algae, instead of turning the light off for extra time, just dial the power back. I still think the Fluval is a great light. And money aside, as far as what I'm making as a salesman to you guys, it's still the best light. And seriously, I probably make the same amount of money off of Fluval as I do a Stingray. 100% honest. So, whether you buy the $90 Fluval or $90 Stingray or the $190 Fluval, it doesn't matter to me, but I still recommend the expensive one. Matt F says, come on, man, trim that bush. Yes. Melhead said, my Aqua FX 48-inch costs $60 more than my Aqua Sky, same size and better programming. Okay. How big of a tank can the Fluval Nano handle? So I had it on a 20 long. Alright, so technically the Fluval Nano can only go on a rimless tank. The adapter only fits a rimless tank. It's very thin. It's only supposed to be for like a little rimless tank. I printed a 3D printed adapter that allowed me to use it on a rimmed tank. So I made from scratch an adapter so I can put it on a rim tank, and I use it on 20 long. That's why I use it on the axolotls, because I wanted a good spectrum to grow plants in that tank, but I didn't want overpowered brightness because axolotls don't want super bright lights. So I went with 3.0, and it worked great until it fell into my tank, and it ran underwater for a while because I came home and it was still on. I pulled it out of the tank, but at that point it had already saturated through with water and the power board corroded. I was going to try to fix it, but haven't gotten to it. It's a really good light. Anyways, I had it on 20 long, and now the thing is, it grew plants perfectly in it. The thing is, the lighting angles, it was, the light, it wasn't like this tank where the light is 100% coverage. It looks uniform. The axolotl tank, this was lit up a lot, but the light kind of bled dimmer to the sides, which actually I really liked. It kind of reminded me like a Biotope tank. It looked really natural to me. I loved it. So that was on a 20 long. It would be fine on a 10-gallon tank, which I'm surprised more people don't use it on stuff like that. I think it's because there's no adapter for a rimmed tank. Maybe I should sell those adapters. I don't know. Squirrel. So a 20 high would work. A 29 would work. I mean, all right, no. So a 20 high would work. A 29 is the same as a 20 long footprint, lengthwise. So you're going to have that bleed out on the edges. Maybe you would have less bleed out on the 29 because it's a taller tank. It would give the light more time to diffuse out to the edges. Devonians I don't know what jobs you're talking about. So yeah, 20 high would be great, and I think it'd be super cool. I like the aesthetics of it. You know, it's just this little square box that kind of floats above the tank. Like this tank, I think it'd be cool to have 3 of them. They're expensive, I know. It'd be the same price as getting, a 48-inch Fluval 3.0, but aesthetically, like on a display tank, especially like this one, acrylic, having 3 of those lights over the top, it reminds me of like a Kessel light. You know, how they have those pendant lights. It would be kind of like that. So, though the only issue is, I don't know if a nano light would be enough to penetrate and have really good par on the bottom compared to its bigger brother here. But it would still be cool. Chevy Fish says, yes, sell the adapter for the Nano, please. Let's go take a walk. I think I have one printed, and I'll show you how the adapter works. All right, let me flip you around so you can see. So, dusty, sorry. So here's what it comes with. So it pinches this glass. It's got this set screw. That's how you tighten it. There's a screw back here, so you can adjust the height of this like 90-degree bracket to make it higher or lower. You know what? I'm pretty sure I cleaned and I threw the adapter away because I was like, oh no, I have it. All right, I'll show you what I made. Okay. So, all right, one last time, look at this adapter, or look at this, how this is set up. So it just pinches the glass. We're going to go out to a rim tank so I can show you how this adapter works I've made. Vanna's out here. Okay, so flipping you around. So right now, ever since that Fluval died in this tank, I have a Stingray clip-on because it's kind of low light, but I did this for the axle walls. Anyways, here's the adapter I made. I know it's kind of hard to see. This is what I made to allow the Nano, and this is 3D printed. And the way this works, I'm sure this is dim. Let me see if I can do this right. You put it down like that, and then you pull. It's kind of sketchy because it's tight. And now it's on there. All right? And then that clamp, think of this now as the rim. This is the rimless glass tank. The Fluval light clamped onto that. Wait till I hear a bong. That's this filter over here. I was messing around with lift tube designs for these marine hang-on backs. And it's this guy, spitting water. So I was trying to increase flow, but I increased the pressure. I don't know if you guys can see how far that's shooting out. So I was kind of trying to redesign something that I probably shouldn't need to redesign, but I like to play with things. So this is a 3D printed lift tube, but in turn of increasing flow, I increased the pressure, so now it's like going crazy. So that's what you're hearing. But anyways, this is the adapter I printed. It can't come off. So what happened was, on the original, the light was on here, but because the light hung out over the tank, it was constantly putting pressure on this, and eventually what happened was it just kind of flexed enough to where this thing, like, at some point, it just got worn out, and the light came off into the tank. But that's what I made, and at least this is the design I came up with. So, hooks. I mean, there's a little bit of play because there has to be a certain amount to be able to get this around, because it's going over this lip too. There's, the lip that your lid sits on. But that's what I made. Flip you guys. I was proud of that. I came up with that. This is not something I saw online. This was, how do I put a nano light on a rim tank? I was like, all right, I knew I needed it to like grab onto something. And then I was like, how do I get this piece to stay on the tank without using like clamps? Because I'm sure I could have made like a box, like a screw to hold everything together, but I wanted to be able to just snap something together, and that's how I did it. I should patent that thing. I'm sure I could sell those like crazy too. Like, if I got all the co-op fans that have all those food balls, see that they can put a nano on like a 10-gallon tank, probably sell a crap ton. Von User says the 125 is going to be a planted discus community tank. That's going to be awesome. Guys, we are on an hour and a half now. It's 10 o'clock. I drank coffee, which is not good. I squirreled a lot tonight, but it was fun. Your audio went to crap, now it's back. It's probably because I was in the corner of the house by all the electronics, because that underneath that tank, this is going to sound bad, is the entertainment system. There's like an Xbox and the stereo receiver. There's a lot of electrical stuff over there, which I know there's a fish tank above all that electrical stuff. It's not good, but it's there. Anyways, Mike said I have a video on my YouTube page. I paint the back and sides black on a rainbow fish tank. It makes the colors pop. Alright. Good idea. The fry rack, all the sides are painted black on those. Alright. Dudes, and dudettes. I'm getting out of here. I want to go relax for the next 8 hours while this caffeine keeps me awake and I can't sleep. So I'm going to go play with Havana and Charlotte. Hopefully, I don't know where Charlotte's at. I should probably find out where Charlotte's at. Charlotte, she can't hear me. She's deaf. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next Friday. Thank you for the super chat tonight, Matt. I hope I didn't miss any other super chats. I don't think I did. Oh, I did miss a super chat. I just looked. Mrs. Melhead Prime with the $5 bush. And what's awesome, it's not funny, what's awesome is, so she's talking about the Christmas moss, I'm pretty sure, out there. She's talking about my bush that's out there. But Bush is also the beer we were drinking at OFR. It's my go-to, and they also drink Bush Light. So that was pretty cool. For some reason, it says I have another super chat that I missed. I missed somebody's super chat somewhere, and that's going to drive me nuts. Oh, there it is. Von Yenzer, 614 super chat. Thoughts on backgrounds, extra dark window tint or painted? So the fry rack, I'll just tell you what I have. The fry rack, I painted all the sides with just black. I think it was probably oil-based. It was Rust-Oleum, which I'm pretty sure is oil-based. It was kind of it's got to be super clean for it to stick to plastic. But I used what I had. I didn't go like, I know Krylon Fusion is for plastics. I know that. I used what I have. So I had black. I brushed it on. Not a big deal because on the inside of the tank it looks like a black background. I have that on those. The 10-gallon tanks in the fish room, I used, it's same concept as tint, how you put like soapy water or just water down on tint. to kind of slide it into place. Same concept, but it's window frosting, and it's not permanent. It kind of like static cling, but I think you still have to use water, if I remember right. I did 3 sides on those tanks, so those are frosted because I didn't want fish seeing tank to tank, and I just didn't want black all the way around on those tanks. I just want to try something different, I guess. So I did frosted, so I like the look of that. And then I've spray painted tanks. So my first rack system 1, those tanks are spray painted black. And then I've also plastic dipped tank, which that's one of my first videos on this channel, is plastic dipping a tank blue. I had blue plastic dip. I said let's do a tank background blue. So I plastic dipped it. I recommend all of the things I mentioned. Painting with a brush, spray painting is the quickest. I really like the frosted window is not tint because it's not permanent. Tint itself is pretty permanent. Permanent in the fact that like it doesn't just come off easy. You got razor blade the crap out tint. If you ever worked on a car, you had to take tint off of it. It sucks. Ask me how I know. But this stuff is like the static clean-ish stuff. It comes off fairly well. The other thing I'd recommend that I personally haven't tried, but I know would work perfect, is like a vinyl sticker. Something that you can just peel and stick on. Yeah. That would be also, even if it was kind of a permanent adhesive, you could still razor blade it off. I've never like tried to reverse paint a painted tank. I've never tried to like scrape a tank off, but I'm pretty sure that if you just took a fresh razor blade, even if you spray paint or hand brush a tank, you'd be able to scrape it off. Obviously, if it's acrylic, that's a whole different ball game. This acrylic tank has a black background, but it's actually the acrylic is black. It's not painted. It's not tinted. The acrylic is black. But yeah, so you can do extra dark tint. The thing it would have to be like limo tint, because if not, you would see through it. Like if you get like light behind it, you might see through it. It might make it look a little less tinted, I would think. I would probably just paint it out of those 2 options. You can even get like one of those little mini foam rollers, like the little 3-inch foam rollers, and roll the tank. You can spray paint it. Anyways, guys, we are definitely at over an hour and a half. It just can't be me, this guy, I don't know. Now we're talking about racks. Alright, you guys. I need alcohol. I need some Baileys in my coffee is what I need. To get paint off acrylic, you must use a big flame. Only kidding, don't do this. On that note, guys, that's how I'm going to end my streams now. On that note, we are ending this stream. Anyways, guys, let me do this outro again, because squirrel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next Friday night. Members, I appreciate you guys being members, moderators. I appreciate you guys doing all that you do for me and my channel. Make sure you switch out your winter air in your tires for summer air. On that note, I will see you guys next Friday night. I know I just said that, but Squirrel Aquatics is running strong tonight. Don't forget to like this if you liked my bush. It's a big bush. It's green. It's called Christmas moss. But if you like the bush, hit the like button, guys. Thanks, and I'll see you next Friday. I swear, this is the last time saying it. All right, nope.